Jin-Ah and her friends reached the mountain base safely. It was still there, hidden in the rocks. Old equipment waited inside, covered in dust. This was our main command center, Jin-Ah explained as they walked through the rooms. From here, we coordinated attacks across 3 sectors. Sun Mei looked around in wonder. And you ran all this when you were just a teenager? Jin-Ah nodded. War makes people grow up fast. For the next 2 days, they cleaned the base and repaired equipment. More rebels arrived, having heard that Spark had returned. By the 3rd day, they had 50 people. What's our plan? Do asked during a meeting. Jin-Ah stood before the group. She no longer looked like a scared student. She stood tall, her eyes clear and confident. The Federation is strong, she said. We can't defeat them with weapons alone. We need to show people the truth. What truth? Someone asked. The Federation says it brings peace and order, Jin-Ah replied. But it really brings control and fear. It destroys anyone who questions it. It turns people against each other. She looked at Do. It made Do hate humans, when really it was the Federation who killed his parents. The group nodded in agreement. I have a plan, Jin-Ah continued. The Federation controls people by controlling information. So we will give people the real information. Her plan was bold. They would break into the Federation's central communication system and broadcast the truth about what happened in Sector 7 and other places where the Federation had hurt people. That night, a small team led by Jin-Ah snuck into the city. Using codes that Jin-Ah remembered, they entered the main communication building. Guards tried to stop them, but Jin-Ah and her team moved quickly, using smoke and flash devices to confuse them rather than hurting them. They reached the broadcast center and locked the doors. We have 10 minutes before they break in, Hyun said, working on the computers. Jin-Ah sat before the camera. She took a deep breath and began to speak as Hyun started the broadcast. My name is Jin-Ah. Some know me as Spark. 5 years ago, I led a rebellion against the Federation. I was captured and my memories were changed. I was made to forget who I was, but now I remember. She showed the scars on her arms. These are from battles I fought. Battles for freedom. Jin-Ah told the story of why the rebellion started. How the Federation destroyed her home colony. How they imprisoned and killed people who spoke against them. How they turned different species against each other to stay in control. They want you to fear each other, she said. Humans fear the aliens. Aliens fear the humans, but we should all fear only the Federation that keeps us divided. As she spoke, Hyun uploaded proof to the network, secret Federation files showing their crimes. Suddenly, the doors burst open. Federation troops rushed in. Commander Ju was with them. Stop the broadcast, he ordered. But it was too late. The message had gone out to every screen in the sector, including those at the academy. As Jin-Ah was taken away, she saw students and teachers watching her message on screens. Their faces showed shock and anger. At the academy, Professor Han watched with his students. He stood up and turned off the screen. Class dismissed, he said. Then he added quietly, remember what you saw today. Do and Sun Mai arrived back at the academy the next day, pretending they had been hiding during the trouble. No one questioned them. 3 days later, the first protests began in the city. People gathered in the streets calling for Jin-Ah's release. Both humans and non-humans stood together. At the Federation Detention Center, Commander Ju visited Jin-Ah in her cell. Your broadcast has caused problems, he said, but you won't win. Jin-Ah smiled. I already have. People know the truth now. It's just a matter of time. That night, alarms sounded at the detention center. Jin-Ah looked up as her cell door opened. Professor Han stood there. Come, he said. We don't have much time. Outside, a crowd waited. Students from the academy stood with city workers and former rebels. Do and Sun Mei were in front. The revolution is just beginning, Do said. Jin-Ah looked at their faces. humans and non-humans together. This time, they would not be defeated. 3 days passed. Jinna, Sunla Do, and Hyun moved between safe houses. Old rebel friends helped them. Each day, more people joined them when they heard Spark was back. Federation forces are everywhere, Hyun said after returning from a supply run. They're checking every building in the city. Jinna studied a map of the area. Her mind worked like it did in the old days, seeing patterns and making plans. We can't stay here much longer, she said. We need to move to the old base in the mountains. Is it still there? Sunma asked. Maybe, Jinna said. It was hidden well. The Federation never found it. That night, they prepared to leave. 20 people would go with them, a mix of humans and non-humans who opposed the Federation. Just as they were ready to depart, alarms sounded outside. Bright lights shone through the windows. We've been found, Do shouted. A voice came through speakers outside. This is Commander Ju of Federation Security. We have you surrounded. Come out peacefully. Jinna looked at her friends. You all should surrender. Say I forced you to help me. They might believe that. No, Sunmai said firmly. We're with you now. Do nodded. All the way. Jinna smiled. Then her face became serious again. I have a plan, but it's dangerous. She quickly explained what each person should do. They would split into 3 groups and try to escape in different directions. Jinna would lead the main group through the front, creating a distraction while the others escaped from the back. Ready? Jinna asked. Everyone nodded. Jinna grabbed a weapon and kicked open the door. She fired shots into the air as her group ran out. Federation officers fired back. Jinna and her team took cover behind vehicles and walls, shooting to keep the officers busy. Through her earpiece, Jinna heard that the other groups had escaped safely. Now it was their turn. Fall back, she ordered her team. They began to retreat toward their escape route. Suddenly, a tall figure stepped out from behind a Federation vehicle. It was Commander Ju. Spark, he said, looking straight at Jinna. Or should I call you Jinna now? Jinna aimed her weapon at him. Either name works. Commander Ju didn't draw his weapon. Do you remember me? Jinna looked at his face. A memory flashed in her mind. This man standing over her after her capture, arguing with other officers. You were there when I was captured, she said. You're the one who decided not to kill me. Yes, Commander Ju said. I convinced them to use memory alteration instead. You were just a child, despite all you had done. Jinna kept her weapon aimed at him. Why are you telling me this? Because you have a choice now, Commander Ju said. Surrender, and I'll make sure you're treated well. Your friends too. Fight, and many will die tonight, including probably you. Jinna thought for a moment. And then what? Go back to being the student who doesn't know who she really is. It was a good life, Commander Ju said. You could have been happy. Living a lie isn't happiness, Jinna replied. And what about all the people the Federation has hurt? All the families torn apart like Do's. Like mine. Commander Ju stepped closer. The Federation brings order. Without it, there would be chaos. Or freedom, Jinna countered. She lowered her weapon slightly. Commander Ju relaxed. In that moment, Jinna moved quickly. She kicked his legs out from under him and ran past. Now, she shouted into her earpiece. Her team threw smoke bombs. The area filled with thick smoke. Federation officers couldn't see to shoot. Jinna ran to a waiting vehicle where Do was at the controls. Her team jumped in behind her. As they sped away, Jinna looked back at Commander Ju, who was standing in the smoke watching them escape. This isn't over, she said quietly. It's just beginning. Jinna stood at the entrance of the massive glass building. Her heart beat fast as she looked up at the Galactic Academy. This was her first day. She was the only human student here. Move aside, human, said a tall blue-skinned student, pushing past her. 3 of his friends laughed. Jinnah took a deep breath and walked inside. The halls were filled with students from all over the galaxy. Some had scales, others had 4 arms, some floated instead of walked. None looked human. She found her classroom and sat in the back row. She hoped no one would notice her. It didn't work. "Look what we have here," said a voice. Jinnah looked up to see a student with silver skin and black eyes staring at her. His name tag read Doe, a human in our advanced class. "This must be a mistake," Doe said loudly. "Humans only live about 100 years. Why bother teaching them anything?" The other students laughed. Jinnah looked down at her desk. She pulled her sleeves down to hide the strange scars on her arms. "That's enough," said a stern voice. Professor Han walked into the room. He was tall with orange skin and wise eyes. "We welcome all species at the Galactic Academy. Even humans. Even humans." Jinnah felt her face get hot. She was being welcomed like she was less than the others. Professor Han turned on a large screen at the front of the room. "Today we study the stars of Sector 7 and the history of the Galactic Federation in that region." Images of beautiful star systems filled the screen. Jinnah felt a strange feeling, like she had seen these stars before. But that was impossible. She had never left Earth until now. Sector 7 was the site of a human uprising 5 years ago, Professor Han continued. The rebels were crushed, of course. "Because humans are weak," Doe whispered loud enough for everyone to hear. Jinnah felt anger rise inside her. She wasn't weak. She knew how to fight. She knew how to. Her thoughts stopped. How did she know how to fight? She had never been in a fight in her life. During lunch, Jinnah sat alone. She picked at her food while watching the other students. They moved in groups, laughing and talking. No one came near her table. "Is this seat taken?" asked a soft voice. Jinnah looked up to see a small green-skinned girl with large eyes. "No," Jinnah said, surprised. "I'm Sun Mei," the girl said, sitting down. "You're the new human student, right?" Jinnah nodded. "Why are you talking to me? No one else will." Sun Mei shrugged. "Most people here only know about humans from history books. They think you're all violent and simple. I'd like to make up my own mind." After lunch, the class went to the training room. Students practiced using different weapons and devices. "Humans next," said the teacher. "Jinnah, show us what you can do with the light staff." Jinnah had never seen a light staff before. It was a long metal rod that glowed at both ends. She took it in her hands. Suddenly, her body seemed to move on its own. She spun the staff quickly, moving it from hand to hand. She jumped and twisted in the air, the staff always in perfect control. The room went silent. Everyone stared at her. Jinnah stopped, shocked at what she had just done. How did she know how to use this weapon? "Beginner's luck," Doe said, breaking the silence. That night in her small room, Jinnah couldn't sleep. She got up and looked out her window at the stars. She touched the scars on her arms. They were straight lines, like something had been attached to her skin. A flash of memory hit her. Fire, people shouting, someone calling her a different name. Jinnah shook her head. These weren't her memories. They couldn't be. She was just a normal human girl from Earth. But if that was true, why did the stars of Sector 7 feel like home? Jinnah and Sun Mei ran through the academy halls. Alarms began to sound. "We need to get off campus," Jinnah said. "They'll lock down the whole school soon." They headed for the east exit, but turned a corner to find 3 Federation officers blocking their path. "This way." Sun Mei pulled Jinnah into an empty classroom. They were trapped. "The window," Jinnah said, looking outside. It was a long drop to the ground. Just then, the door opened. Jinnah raised her fists, ready to fight. But it was Doe who entered. "Follow me," he said. "I know a way out." Jinnah hesitated. "Why would you help us?" "No time to explain," Doe said. "Trust me or get caught." They had no choice. They followed Doe through service corridors and down a maintenance ladder that led to underground tunnels. Service tunnels, Doe explained as they moved through the dark passages. They connect all the buildings on campus. After walking for 20 minutes, they climbed up another ladder. Doe pushed open a hatch, and they emerged in a small storage room in the city. "We should be safe here for now," Doe said. "This is my uncle's shop. He's closed today." Jinnah looked at Doe with suspicious eyes. "Why are you helping us? You hate humans." Doe's silver face looked sad. "I never hated humans. I was angry because—" He paused. "My parents were killed during the Federation's attack on Sector 7. Jinnah was surprised. "But that was a human rebellion. Why were your parents there?" "Not all non-humans love the Federation," Doe said. "My parents were teachers who spoke out against Federation rules. They were labeled as rebel sympathizers and arrested. They died in prison." Sun Mi touched his arm. "I'm sorry, Doe. I acted like I hated humans because I was afraid." Doe continued. "If people thought I might support rebels like my parents did, I would be watched too." Jinnah nodded slowly. "So you pretended to hate us to protect yourself?" "Yes," Doe admitted. "But then I started to suspect who you really were. Spark is a hero to many people, even non-humans. My parents talked about her before they were taken." Jinnah sat down on a box. Her head hurt from all the new memories mixing with her fake ones. "I'm not sure I'm still that person," she said. "Parts of me are still Jinnah." "You can be both," Sun Mi suggested. "The best parts of each." They heard footsteps outside. Everyone froze. There was a knock at the door. "Jinnah, it's Hyun." They let him in quickly and locked the door again. "The whole city is looking for you," Hyun said. "Federation patrols everywhere. Commander Ju is leading the search himself." "What do we do now?" Sun Mi asked. Jinnah closed her eyes. Memories flowed through her mind. Battle plans, secret bases, emergency protocols. "There were rebel cells all over this sector," she said. "Safe houses, secret ways to communicate. Some might still exist. How can we find them?" Doe asked. Jinnah rolled up her sleeve and looked at a small scar near her wrist. "I remember now. Information was hidden in my body. Codes and contact points." She pressed on the scar in a pattern. "Nothing happened. It's been too long," she said with disappointment. "Wait," Hyun said. He took out a small device and scanned Jinnah's arm. The device beeped and showed a series of numbers. "Coordinates," Jinnah said, looking at them, "and a communication frequency. We can contact other rebels." Hyun set up his communication device to the frequency. At first, they heard only static. Then Jinnah spoke into it. "The spark still burns," she said clearly. More static. Then a voice replied. "In darkest night." Jinnah smiled. "Some rebels are still out there. They'll help us." "And then what?" Doe asked. Jinnah looked at her friends with determined eyes. "Then we finish what I started 5 years ago. The Federation has hurt too many people, humans and non-humans alike. It's time for things to change." For the first time in days, Jinnah felt truly whole. She was neither just the student nor just the rebel leader. She was both, and that made her stronger than before. "This way," Jinnah whispered, leading the group to a back door. Her mind worked quickly, mapping escape routes. Outside, Federation patrol ships hovered in the sky, their searchlights sweeping the area. "We need to split up," Jinnah said. "They're looking for me, not you." "I'm staying with you," Sun Mi said firmly. Hyun nodded. "Me too." Dr. May looked scared. "I'll go another way. If they catch me, they'll kill me for helping rebels." Jinnah squeezed the doctor's hand. "Thank you for helping me remember. Now go." Dr. May slipped away into the shadows. Jinnah watched the patrol ship's movement pattern. "We'll wait for the searchlight to pass, then run to the transport station. Stay low." They waited, then sprinted across an open area when the light moved away. At the transport station, They caught a night shuttle heading to the Academy District. Do you think anyone saw us? Sunma asked. I don't know, Jinna said. But word will spread that Spark might be back. The Federation will be watching for me now. Back at the Academy, they parted ways with Hyun, who promised to contact them soon. Be careful, he warned. Trust no one. The next morning, Jinna was surprised to see Federation security officers in the Academy halls. Students whispered as they passed. In class, Professor Han seemed nervous. Today we have visitors from Federation security. They may ask you questions. Please cooperate fully. A tall man in a dark uniform entered the room. I am Commander Ju. We are looking for information about rebel activities in this city. His eyes moved across the room, stopping briefly on Jinna. She kept her face calm, but her heart raced. At lunch, Sunmi joined Jinna at her table. They're watching everyone, she whispered, especially humans. I need to be careful, Jinna said. I can't let them know I've remembered who I am. Just then, Do sat down at their table. Jinna and Sunma looked at him in surprise. We need to finish our project, Do said loudly. Then he lowered his voice. And we need to talk. Jinna felt worried. Did Do know something? Was he going to report her? After classes, they met in the library. Do looked around to make sure no one was listening. You're her, aren't you? He asked. You're Spark. Jinna froze. What are you talking about? I've been watching you, Do said. The way you fight. The things you know. And yesterday when you talked about the Federation like that. It all makes sense. Jinna's mind raced. Should she deny it? Could she trust Do? Before she could decide, they heard a commotion outside. Federation officers were leading Sunmi away. What are they doing? Jinna asked, jumping up. They're questioning all students who have contact with humans, Do explained. They think Spark might be hiding at the Academy. Jinna felt sick. This was her fault. Sunmi was in danger because of her. I have to help her, Jinna said. That would be stupid, Do said. You'll get caught too. But Jinna was already moving. She followed the officers and Sunmi from a distance. They took her to an empty classroom. Jinna heard Sunmi's voice. I don't know anything about rebels. Then a slap. Sunmi cried out in pain. Something snapped inside Jinna. She wasn't a scared student anymore. She was Spark, defender of the weak. She burst into the room. The two officers turned in surprise. Let her go, Jinna said in a cold, commanding voice. The officers laughed. What will you do, human girl? Jinna moved so fast, they barely saw it. Her foot connected with the first officer's chest. He flew backward and hit the wall. The second officer reached for his weapon. But Jinna was faster. She twisted his arm until he dropped it, then knocked him unconscious with a quick strike. Sunma stared at her with wide eyes. Jinna. Not anymore, she said, pulling Sunmi to her feet. I'm Spark now, and we need to run. For this term's main project, you will work in pairs, Professor Han announced to the class. You will research how different species live together in the Federation. Jinna looked around. No one would want to work with her. She was still the outsider, the only human. Professor Han read from his screen. Tai and Sunmi, Yoon and Ba, Jinna and Do. Jinna's heart sank. Do, the silver-skinned student who hated humans the most, would be her partner. Do looked angry. Professor, can I please work with someone else? No, Professor Han said firmly. These pairs will help everyone learn about different cultures. After class, Do walked up to Jinna. Listen, human. I don't want to work with you, but I need good grades. We will meet in the library after dinner. Jinna nodded. At least he was willing to do the project. In the library that evening, Do was already searching through files when Jinna arrived. We need to pick a topic, he said without looking up. Something about humans and other species. We could study what happened after the Sector 7 rebellion, Jinna suggested. how humans and other species get along there now. Do looked surprised. That's actually a good idea. Fine, let's look it up. They found many reports about Sector 7. Most said the same thing. After the rebellion, peace returned. Humans learned to be good Federation citizens. See, even wild humans can be tamed, Do said with a smirk. Jinnah ignored him. She was looking at video files from the rebellion. Can we watch some of these? Do shrugged. If you want to see humans losing, sure. They opened a video file. It showed a battle on a dusty planet. Federation ships fired at buildings below. Then the camera zoomed in on a group of rebels. A small figure stood in front, pointing at a map. The person wore a mask covering most of their face, but their eyes were visible. Bright, determined eyes. Jinnah felt like she couldn't breathe. Those eyes. She knew those eyes. That's Spark, Do said. The rebel leader. They say she was just a kid, but she was smart. Federation forces never caught her. Jinnah asked, her voice shaking. Yeah, they think Spark was a girl. Maybe your age. Do looked at her. Why are you so pale? It's just a history video. Jinnah stood up quickly. I need some air. I'll be back. She rushed to the bathroom and splashed water on her face. In the mirror, she stared at her own eyes. They looked just like Spark's eyes in the video. This is crazy, she whispered to herself. I'm not Spark. I can't be. When she returned to the library, Do was reading something on his screen. I found more information about what happened to the rebels who were caught, he said. Most were sent to re-education centers. Some had their memories altered. Memory alteration? Jinnah asked, sitting down slowly. Yes, the Federation has technology that can erase or change memories. Do looked excited by the idea. They can make people forget who they were and give them new lives. Jinnah felt cold all over. Could that explain her strange skills? The dreams, the memories that didn't make sense. But why would anyone do that? She asked. For dangerous rebels, it's better than killing them, Do said. They get a second chance as loyal citizens. That night, Jinnah couldn't sleep again. She pulled out a small mirror and looked at her eyes. Then she found the blurry image of Spark from the video. The same eyes looked back at her. Jinnah's hands shook. She needed to find out more. If she was Spark, if her memories had been changed, she needed to know why. Tomorrow, she would ask Sunmi for help. Sunmi seemed to know more than she was saying. It was time to find the truth, no matter how scary it might be. Jinnah woke up screaming. The nightmare was the same one she had every night. Fire, shouting, the feeling of falling. She sat up in bed, her heart racing. Outside her window, the 3 moons of the planet shone brightly. It was still 4 hours before class would start. Jinnah got up and splashed cold water on her face. In the mirror, she saw dark circles under her eyes. She hadn't slept well since arriving at the academy 2 weeks ago. Just focus on school, she told herself. Forget the dreams. Later that morning, Jinnah sat in Professor Han's history class. Today they were learning about the rebellion of Sector 7. 5 years ago, a group of humans led an uprising against the Galactic Federation. Professor Han explained. They managed to take control of 3 planets before they were stopped. Images appeared on the screen. Burning buildings, Federation ships firing weapons, people running. Jinnah felt dizzy. Her head hurt like someone was hammering inside. The rebellion was unusual because it was led by someone very young. Professor Han continued. The rebels called their leader Spark. Federation forces never captured this person. A blurry image appeared on the screen. Someone small with their face covered, giving orders to a group of fighters. Jinnah's vision blurred. She gripped her desk to stay upright. Are you well, Jinnah? Professor Han asked, noticing her pale face. Just tired, she lied. I'm fine. After class, the students went to combat training. Today they practiced hand-to-hand fighting. Humans are so fragile, said Ta, a student with hard red skin. One hit could break your bones. Jinnah said nothing. She was paired with Ta for practice. Begin, the teacher called. Tai rushed at Jinnah with his 4 arms ready to grab her. But Jinnah's body seemed to know what to do. She stepped aside at the last second, stuck out her foot, and Ta went crashing to the floor. The room went quiet again. How did you do that? Tai asked, getting up slowly. Jinnah shook her head. I don't know. And that was the truth. Later, in the school library, Jinnah sat alone looking up information about human colonies in Sector 7. According to the records, most humans there had been moved to education centers after the rebellion. What are you reading? Sunma asked, sitting next to her. Jinnah quickly closed the screen. Nothing important. Sunma looked at her with big green eyes. I think you're interesting, Jinnah. You're not like what the books say humans are like. How are humans supposed to be? Jinnah asked. Simple, emotional, weak. Sunma counted on her fingers. But you're different. You fight better than anyone in our class, and sometimes you look at the stars like you've seen much more than Earth. Jinnah felt cold. I've never left Earth before coming here. Are you sure? Sunma asked quietly. That night, Jinnah couldn't sleep again. She decided to look up her own records in the Academy database. Every student had a file. She found her basic information. Jinnah, human female, age 17, born on Earth. But when she tried to open her medical history, a message flashed. Access denied. Classified by order of Federation High Command. Jinnah stared at the screen. Why would her medical records be classified by the highest levels of government? She tried another search, this time for the word spark. Thousands of results came up about the rebellion leader. One report caught her eye. Subject displays unusual tactical abilities despite young age. Considered extremely dangerous. Jinnah clicked on an image. It was the same blurry picture from class. But now, looking more carefully, she could see that the rebel leader was small, possibly a teenage girl. Another flash of memory hit Jinnah. Standing on a hill, watching Federation ships burn in the sky, people cheering around her. She closed the computer quickly. These couldn't be her memories. She was just Jinnah from Earth. Nothing special. But as she touched the strange scars on her arms, a single thought formed in her mind. What if I'm not who I think I am? The next day was hard for Jinnah. She sat in class, but her mind was far away. She kept thinking about the meeting tonight. Jinnah, are you listening? Professor Han asked. Jinnah looked up quickly. Sorry, Professor. I asked what happens when a planet refuses to join the Federation. Jinnah opened her mouth to answer. But instead of saying what she had learned in class, different words came out. They get a choice. Join or be destroyed, she said. The Federation calls it peacekeeping. The people being killed call it war. The room went silent. Professor Han looked surprised. That is not what the textbook says, he said slowly. See me after class. Do stared at Jinnah with a strange look. Not hate this time. Something else. Worry. After class, Professor Han closed the door. That was a dangerous thing to say, he told Jinnah. Such talk could get you in trouble. I'm sorry, Jinnah said. I don't know why I said that. Professor Han studied her face. Be careful, Jinnah. Watch what you say, especially about the Federation. That night, Jinnah sneaked out of her room. The city lights glowed in the distance as she made her way to the address Hyun had given her. The building was old and dark. Jinnah knocked on the door. Hyun opened it and led her inside. This is Dr. May, he said, introducing an older woman with blue skin and white hair. Dr. May looked at Jinnah closely. So you think you're Spark? Jinnah nodded. I need to know the truth. I helped create the memory-changing technology, Dr. May said. I can try to reverse it, but it will hurt, and it's dangerous. We might only get pieces of your memory back. I want to try, Jinnah said firmly. Dr. May pointed to a chair with strange devices above it. Sit there. Jinnah sat down. Dr. May placed a metal band around Jinnah's head and attached wires to it. This will stimulate the parts of your brain where old memories are stored, she explained. Ready? Jinnah took a deep breath. Yes. Dr. May turned on the machine. At first, Jinnah felt nothing. Then pain shot through her head like lightning. She grabbed the chair arms tightly. Images flashed in her mind, faster and faster. A small house burning, her parents lying still on the ground. Men in Federation uniforms taking her away. A camp full of angry people, someone teaching her how to fight. The first time she led others into battle. Planning attacks, watching Federation ships burn. People calling her Spark and following her orders. Then the final battle, being captured, waking up with a new name, new memories, and being told she was just a normal girl from Earth. Jinnah screamed. The pain was too much. Dr. May quickly turned off the machine. That's enough for now. Jinnah was breathing hard. Tears ran down her face. I remember everything. I am Spark. What do you remember? Hyun asked. I was orphaned when the Federation attacked my colony, Jinnah said, her voice shaking. I joined the rebels when I was 12. By 14, I was leading attacks. They called me Spark because I was small but could start a big fire. She touched the scars on her arms. These are from battle armor I used to wear. Why did they let you live? Sunma asked. I don't know, Jinnah said. The last thing I remember is being captured, then waking up with new memories. Suddenly, they heard a loud noise outside. Bright lights shone through the windows. Federation security forces. Hyun shouted. They found us. How? Dr. May asked, panicking. Jinnah stood up. Her head still hurt, but something had changed. She stood taller. Her eyes were sharp and focused. It doesn't matter how, she said in a calm, commanding voice that didn't sound like the old Jinnah at all. What matters is how we get out. Follow me. Stay low and quiet. Jinnah was no longer a scared student. She was Spark again, a rebel commander. And she knew exactly what to do. Sunmei, I need to talk to you, Jinnah said the next morning before class. It's important. Sunmei looked around to make sure no one was listening. Not here. Meet me at the old garden dome after classes. Jinnah could barely focus all day. During lunch, Do sat with his friends, laughing and pointing at her, but she didn't care anymore. She had bigger things to worry about. After the last class, Jinnah walked to the garden dome at the edge of the academy grounds. It was an old glass building filled with plants from different planets. Few students came here. Sunmei was waiting inside, but she wasn't alone. A tall boy with gray skin stood next to her. This is Hyun, Sunmei said. He doesn't go to the academy. He works in the city. Hyun looked at Jinnah with serious eyes. Sunmei says you're asking questions about Spark and the rebellion. Jinnah stepped back. How do you know about that? Hyun knows everything that happens in this city, Sunmei explained. He helps people who don't want to be found by the Federation. Jinnah understood. You're part of the rebellion. Hyun shook his head. Not exactly. The rebellion is gone. I help former rebels who are living with new identities, like people who had their memories changed. Jinnah asked, her heart beating fast. Hyun looked at her closely. Why do you want to know about this? Jinnah took a deep breath. I think I might be Spark. Hyun and Sunmei exchanged looks. Many people have said that, Hyun said. Spark is a hero to those who oppose the Federation. But she disappeared 5 years ago. I know how crazy it sounds, Jinnah said. But I can do things I was never taught. I have dreams about battles, and my medical records are classified by Federation High Command. Hyun's eyes widened. That's interesting. The Federation did capture many rebel leaders. Some were executed. Others had their memories erased and were given new lives. Is there a way to know for sure? Jinnah asked. To get my real memories back? Maybe, Han said slowly. There's a doctor in the city who used to work for the Federation. She helped develop the memory technology. She might be able to help you. But it's dangerous, Sun Mai added. If you really are Spark, and if the Federation finds out you're remembering, they will take you away. Jinnah thought about this. If she was wrong, she might get in trouble for nothing. But if she was right, her whole life was a lie. I need to know the truth, she said firmly. Hyun nodded. I'll arrange a meeting with the doctor. But first, I need to see if you really could be Spark. He took out a small device and showed Jinnah a map of star systems. If you're just a girl from Earth, this will mean nothing to you, he said. But if you're Spark, something might come back to you. These are the battle sites of the rebellion. Jinnah looked at the map. At first, she saw nothing special. Then her eyes focused on one star system. Words came out of her mouth without thinking. Nara base was here, she said, pointing. We lost it when the Federation brought in the 5th Fleet. 57 rebels died that day. Hyun's mouth fell open. That information was never public. Only rebel commanders knew those details. Jinnah felt dizzy. She sat down on a bench. So it's true, she whispered. I am Spark. Or you have some of her memories, Hyun said. We need to know more. Meet me tomorrow night at this address. He handed her a small card. As Jinnah walked back to her room, her mind raced. Part of her was scared to learn the truth. But another part felt a strange excitement. If she was Spark, that meant she was someone important, someone who fought for what she believed in. She wasn't just the human girl everyone looked down on. She was someone they feared.